Chestnut Lake Arbor Way. I don't know.
You're in DC?
Yeah.
You're down the street?
We went to a place called Sobe. I don't know. It's so many different places. I don't know.
Are you down the street from O'Brien?
You came to my hood without checking in? Oh, we got.
It was a society. It was a Black Door Society kind of event. It was like a induction thing, and
you still call him and let him scoop you up or have coffee or something. He has to see you there.
We got now I gotta go make sure you all right.
But I thought you were in Baltimore. We're far away from Baltimore.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, and I mean, y'all probably already know this. So in outside of Baltimore, people lump together like the kind of Baltimore, DC. So it's kind of known as like the national capital area. There's a huge other debate on what's considered like the DMV. So I'm not even gonna get into that. But in general, Baltimore, yes, it's like 40 minutes up 95 or 295. So for some people, that's a major psychological barrier. And it's like Baltimore, DC. To other people, it's just kind of like the Mid-Atlantic kind of area. So for me, I'm okay jumping in the car, driving down the street.
We are live.
I'm Tim.
Yeah. Brian.
It's like it's like
they were getting the behind the scenes. They were getting the green room conversation.
Right.
They were getting the green room. But we are really today just so excited about Dr. Stacie NC Grant. Aww. She was on a bunch of calls this morning and Clubhouse and up here streaming. And I'm like, how does she do it?
I was going to ask her. She's about on her 8th event at the moment, right, Dr. Stacie, and 8 more to go. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, we're on a call. She's on Clubhouse. This is her mid stop.
So tell us what's in that faithpreneur juice over there.
Oh my! Look, the faithpreneur juice is straight Jesus, right? Because he gives me the strength to do what I do and the energy, so it doesn't feel like work. Everyone always says, like, "How do you keep going?" And you call me the Energizer Bunny on the call today, Pam, and that was so funny because one of our angels in our faithpreneur movement, Winnie Birch, who transitioned, she used to always call me the Energizer Bunny. She would send me texts like, "Energizer Bunny, did you eat? Did you sleep today? Like, what are you doing?" And it doesn't feel burdensome. And I know Brian can relate, Sarah can relate, you can relate, Pam. When you're walking in your alignment with God's assignment, you get joy from doing it. Yes. You get immediately energized when you're doing that particular thing, whether it's speaking, whether it's as an artist, whether you're a psalmist, whatever it is that you do when you're operating in alignment with your assignment, it's not work. It's just like that Staples button. It was that easy.
Yeah.
Alignment with your assignment. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And I'm just honored. My stock goes up when I hang out with Brian J. O's and Pam Perry and Sarah. Like, this is just the best way to spend a Saturday afternoon with these 3 powerhouses here in Black Speaker Network, and what the partnership is with Speakers Magazine. This is what I live, collaboration, right?
Yes.
I can't do all things, and I don't need to do all things. Right. But what I need to do is surround myself with individuals who are the best at what they do, who operate in excellence. And then we just all collaborate. And as we collaborate, we help more people. We broaden our scope. So I enjoy that. And I so appreciate when you can have the low maintenance connections. Can somebody say amen? Right? I don't have to speak to Brian every month to know that if I pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Brian, such and such is going on. He's there." Same here. That's the kind of quality relationships, because if you can spend that much time on the phone doing the chit chat, maybe you need to do some more stuff and send out an invoice like Brian's shirt. I'm just saying.
Just saying. Well, you coming right out the gate with the fire. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this up here in case people missed it. Alignment with your assignment.
Yes.
Absolutely. So here's the deal. If you're just tuning in and wondering what the heck is going on, welcome to the Black Speakers Network. This is our monthly Speakers Magazine cover reveal. And we always have a really great live interview with the cover person that's featured on the cover, which this month we got Dr. Stacie NC Grant in the building. Wait, who's doing that? I didn't even know we
Me,
had
I
that.
bring my own
Stacie,
sound effects. I
that's
bring
right,
my own
Stacie
sound
Yes.
with
effects.
the sound
He
effects.
does.
There you go.
He does.
Right. So first of
I
all,
love it.
you're invited on any StreamYard we do from now on. So
Just bring those sound effects with you too, right?
I didn't even know. Look, I see my people, Nathaniel, Grace, Diane on here, Arlene. Look, I didn't even know. So I'm excited to have a great conversation. Of course, we got Pam Perry in the building, right down the street, Washington, D.C., but from Detroit, Michigan, founder and creator of Speakers Magazine, the official magazine of Black Speakers Network. Then we have Miss Sierra Black in the building, who is just, she got away with words, I guess. You always making it happen. Like you said, Dr. Grant, she's able to take massive amounts of information and kind of truncate it into this beautiful symphony of stories. So the team is back, and I'm excited about this conversation. So thank you, everybody, for being here. If you're BSN in the building, let us know where you're from in the comments, and this would be great. So I mean, Pam, it's July. Can you believe that? Like, what's going on? How did we get to July?
And this is actually the 4th year of Speakers Magazine. So the
We're celebrating 4 years of Speakers, 4 years of Faithpreneur Weekend. This is just a celebratory session today. We are celebrating everything. I love it.
4 years, like it's 4 years for Faithpreneur, Dr. Grant?
It is. This is our 4th. I can't even believe it's 4 years since that inception. And Pam has literally been with me every step of the way. We kicked it off, Brian, in the middle of Times Square, New York, the New York Marriott Marquis, where the ball drops every year. And it was a vision. I didn't know how we were going to do it. And I was like, whoo, Jesus, this is a big one here, Lord. Talk about a faith journey. But to God be the glory. We had such an amazing time. It was on the 9th floor. And we didn't have the whole floor, Brian. Let me just be clear, Sia. Like, we had a contract for a room, 2 rooms to be exact, and the outside. And they had the anime conference going on at the same time. I didn't know, because I'm not into anime, until we started seeing, as people were traveling around, some very interesting expressions of oneself. And the security guards took it upon themselves to block people from coming up on that floor. I didn't even know. They were like, no, there's such a peace on this floor, and we will not have anybody else in this building come and disturb it. That was them on their own. Bosses didn't tell them to do it. The Spirit of the Lord convicted them. We had people in the back working for the meals who were stopping and listening into what was happening. At that point, I knew for sure this wasn't about me. It's about what God is doing through me. And this movement was to boldly stand as faithpreneurs, unapologetic about our faith and being profitable in the marketplace. Because we have a hard time talking about profit and faith, because somebody told somebody that you have to be poor to serve the Lord. I rebuke that demon. We're going to cancel and clear any retarded demon that would tell you that that is your story. Okay, I'm getting excited. I'm going to stop.
Well, we're going to rebuke it with you. We are in agreement with that. Amen, amen, and amen.
No, for real. It's bad theology that we pick up along the way. Money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money, right? So I want to be very clear. It's making sure that you're in alignment with what God's assignment is for your life. And when you seek him first, then all things shall be added. He didn't say you couldn't have abundance, but if you love money more than him, then you're not worthy of your inheritance. But if you stay the course and do the work and allow God to mold you, to show you the plan that he has for your life, then he opens you up to whatever you want. If I'm the daughter of the king, why would I be a pauper? Hello? Okay. I'm gonna behave.
And that's kind of evident in terms of how you started too, because you went to the biggest market here, like New York. We were just talking about that, New York. And then you went to Times Square. So regardless of the size of the room, you went directly to the epicenter of financial fashion. Like you made sure that you kind of started off Faithpreneur Weekend on a stage that was, deserving of your vision. So like, how did you like arrive at? Because you could have held it anywhere. You could have did, I mean, you could have did a
The
Marriott.
basement.
Go ahead.
So as somebody people told me, why you ain't do the church basement?
Right,
Why
right.
Oh.
She started off in faith. That's exactly it. In faith, she started exactly that. I just want to interject here because this is the beauty of me being able to sit before her. And the first question out the gate I asked her was, what was it like if she had the opportunity, if she did work corporate, what was it like? Because you can tell nothing can contain Dr. Stacie, right? There's no walls, no four walls that can contain her. So when she talks about alignment with your assignment, when you are out of alignment, it just doesn't work. And so she clearly had to come out of that environment to be able to really live up to her purpose. And that's what I really want to hear her talk about, because it is so clear that she is coming straight from, the heart, from Faithpreneur, exactly where she is. She is living that purpose, and it's always been there. So let's talk about how you have not been able to be contained, Dr. Stacie, because, you said that's a good question, because I cannot imagine you doing anything else than what you're doing right now. And that is spreading this word of everything that you talk about.
Well, there was a beginning, and it's so funny that you say how I could not be contained. I really couldn't. I think my parents have scratched their heads for every year of my life. Like, where did this kid come from? Like, my mother just says, Lord, she just leaves it at the cross, because I've always been this person. Even from kindergarten, I couldn't be contained. And I think I shared that story with you, that, my mom was all excited. Any parents listening in, first day of school, that's a major situation, right? You want to take off to make sure your child is settled if you're able to. She did that. And honey, she said, I put on my backpack, I kissed her bye, spun on my heels, went into that building and didn't turn back. And then when she came back to pick me up, the teacher was like, can I just talk to you for a minute? That's any parent's nightmare. It's like the first day of school. Like, what possibly could she have done on the first day of school? Well, I was fortunate that my grandfather was teaching me how to read before I started school. So I went to school knowing how to read and doing basic arithmetic. So that was evident on the first day. When the teacher said, well, it seems like Stacie's a very bright young lady and she's very well mannered, but there's one problem. And my mother was like, oh Lord, what did she do? She thinks she's the teacher. She keeps gathering all the kids around and teaching them their ABCs and their 1, 2, 3s, and she's not acknowledging me as the teacher. I couldn't be contained there and see her. Clearly, she didn't get the memo, and I needed to help her do her job.
She went and took over kindergarten, you guys. She did that from day one.
That's a boss move.
That's a boss move. That's a faith move. And then she said, as any parent, you know how you think your daughter's going to miss you. And, you just, by the time you pick them up, they're just running to you. Stacie was holding court in kindergarten, guys. So, it is clear. It is clear she cannot, unless she's doing what she's doing now. This is it. I peeped that from the very beginning. She is. I can't imagine her doing anything else. And it's a beautiful thing. And thank you for sharing that story, Dr. Stacie.
Thank you for allowing me to. And I say that for two reasons, because we have to recognize who our children are, which was like a real challenge for me now, being on the other side of being a parent. And seeing my kids have totally different personalities, right? And they're their own individuals. And there was a point where my husband and I thought that we could just make them into mini us. Like, we were a certain way, so our kids would be the exact same way. And our kids show us who they are early. And I'm glad that my mother saw who I was early, because she literally told me that I could do anything that I wanted to do and nobody could stop me. And I was crazy enough to believe it. Exactly. So I've acted like that all the time. So I wish somebody would tell me no. Where they do that at? It doesn't even compute in my head. Compute in my head. I'm like, what? No, what's no? We don't take no. And my youngest son, I remember we were getting calls when he was in junior high school, even some elementary school, that he was humming and he was tapping. He always had a beat. Every minute was a beat, beat, beat. And I was like, if this teacher calls me one more time, I need you to be still. You know how we grit our teeth.
Right.
Boy, don't let this teacher call. And then a girlfriend said to me, well, clearly he likes music. Maybe you should put him in music lessons. And that's something that I did. Let me tell on myself. My mother had me in piano lessons for years, but my teacher was miserable. So I didn't really stay. That wasn't my portion. I'm like, Lord, I know my mama want me to play because we have music in my family. My grandmother played, my aunt played, my cousin played. But I said, that's a point. Let me put him in music. Do you know that when we tapped into seeing him, somebody gonna catch that, seeing who our child was, putting him in music. He now plays 5 instruments.
Wow.
He graduated high school on his way to college to do music engineering, music production.
Wow.
He's a DJ. He has played for the
Wow.
mayor of New York City twice, starting at 16 years old, because we
Yes.
were able to see what his love is. So him going into college is allowing him a very focused route that he understands what that experience is going to give and allow him to experience. It doesn't guarantee your success. It just levels the playing field, but he's going in focus, knowing what his gift is and how the college experience is going to fine tune it.
Beautiful.
My oldest son had to figure it out differently on the back end because he had a creative side that he didn't tap into. Teachers told him about it. They were saying, look, if your son is really serious, like he has a gift, he has a talent. I'll never forget his art teacher saying that in high school. But he totally had a different thing that he wanted to do. He's like, no, football was on his mind and other things. So he had to go a different 360. But once we saw what his talent is, we were able to direct him. And now he has his own videography business, right? He works alongside my husband with photography and videography. So when you tap into your gift, it will make room for you. But if you allow people to force fit you in a box and try to put you on a mute ministry, it won't work. So I'm here to deliver.
Well, I
Let's
think
take
that's
the noise.
probably, I'm sure y'all touching on that at Faithpreneur Weekend as well. I've seen the content and the programming that you put together. And that's, I think, one of the biggest benefits of being in business for yourself. And even, if you're still employed, still having some sort of outlet outside of your job to be able to creatively flex. Because that a lot of times in every other mechanism, even in school, like you just said, like I feel like we're conditioned from kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, college, graduate school, career, like all of those are structures to kind of keep you in like a box. And even for companies that are like, hey, we want you to develop your potential or leadership and stuff like that, they still want you in this like contained in this place. So it's kind of like, but when you are in business for yourself, speaker, author, coach, consultant, anywhere in that space, you enjoy that flexibility. And now you can continue to push the limits of what that's like. And you realize there's not really too many guardrails, but we kind of carry some of these left over from all those structures that we had to pass through since we were little kids.
Absolutely. And that there's really no limit to your creativity, right? There's no limit to what you can do. If it's on the inside of you, there's a reason. See, that's why I talk to faithpreneurs. Not everybody will understand the words coming out of my mouth. Not everybody will appreciate the curriculum and the training and development in our 3D system that we're sharing with faithpreneurs because they don't identify with a belief in God. And that's fine. I'm not here to judge anybody, but I will not deny my Christ because I'm clear about whose I am and what I am here to do. And in doing that, I'm giving voice and space to those individuals who feel like, oh my gosh, I have to make a choice. Either I believe in God and I want to make money and have a business. What? No. Why do you have to make a choice? You don't have to have any separation in your faith and your finance. What you need to do is to lean into the strategies and the systems that have already been laid out for us in God's word if you believe it to be true. Whatever you believe, you're right. And the faithpreneurs, if you believe that faith is the cornerstone of how you are to develop your skills and talents for it to multiply in the marketplace, for you to really live off of that abundance, then you take the time to do the due diligence. God didn't make any mistakes. He knows the plans he had for you. He knew the plans before you came on this planet. So he's not surprised by what you have to do. Our job is to learn to follow the rules, the systems, and the techniques that have been laid out biblically. And God has given me a platform to be able to do that with a system because I didn't always have a system. All right, let's be clear. I just knew I liked to do certain things. I knew I liked to spend money, right? But then I never always asked for the sale. So how could I spend what I didn't ask for? I'm Jamaican, and my father would say to me earlier on in my speaking career, y'all run up your mouth again. I'm like, okay, daddy, that's so disrespectful. Like I speak. And he was like, how much them pay you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, daddy, like, I'm just trying to help people. Like, what are you talking about?
Can
And he
you slow it down? What was he saying?
Okay. Oh
He
yeah.
said,
Let me
running your mouth again, right?
yeah. Let me slow it down into English.
Translate.
The translation version. He was like, are you just running and yapping your mouth and not getting paid for it? That's the translation from the Jamaican dialect. And then he would say, no more prayers without the raise. And I was like, oh, that sounds so crazy, Daddy. Like, I mean, I'm going to get paid, but going to get paid when? Like, I would leave a speaking engagement and folks would be like, oh my gosh, she was amazing. Like, oh, you changed my life. You did. But then I didn't have a check. So then I left grumpy, disgruntled, broke, and busted. Like, that's not a combination of a child of the king. Like, if you're a child of the king, you need to be a representative of that and learning how to
Yes.
be a good steward. But what
Yes.
I also want to share with someone who might be in a similar place, don't beat yourself up. It's a part of the process.
Yes.
This is a journey. This is not overnight. You're not going to know everything right out the gate. You're going to make some mistakes. I've made tons. But thank God for each one because they showed me what not to do. They've made me stronger. Bishop Jakes preached a sermon, I think about a week or two ago, and he talked about the fact that you really can't appreciate what comes on the other side until you've been through the fight. Right. So when the victory comes, you can really celebrate because you know the sweat equity, you know the time that you've put in, you know the sacrifice that has been made. We want the shine without the grind. I'm just saying.
And what she just said, she says she says you made a lot of mistakes. So we either learn from mistakes or from mentors. I always say that. And so both of us have the same kind of mentor, Dr. George Frazier, and he's a mentor. But we also made a lot of mistakes, but mentors just help you with the learning curve. So Dr. Stacie, talk about how Dr. George Frazier has impacted your life because every year she is his celebrity host, celebrity
Oh
MC
my
for the
goodness.
Power Networking. Yes.
Oh, absolutely, Pam. And that was one of the blessings of meeting you at FraserNet in person. We had connected like online and seen some of the work that you've done. And that's another hint, hint, hint. Dr. Frazier says it all the time. If you want to be with important people, be where important people are. If you
Those
want
are smart.
opportunities, you should be a
Mhm.
member of the Black Speakers Network. Hello.
Those are so
BSN.
smart.
Hello. Speakers Magazine. Hello. Destiny Designers University of Faithpreneurs. There's a reason why we all rock together, why Sarah Black is that individual that writes and captures a story in a specific amount of words. That's a skill. That's a talent. Not everybody can do it. So you know to play to your strengths. And Dr. Frazier, he is more than a blessing. He's a living legend. And to be able to do what I do as a celebrity guest host is humbling, Pam, because I started my first time coming to PNC not knowing where I was going to stay, just an intention to be there. Sometimes it's just in your spirit. You need to show up. You need
Right.
to be in the room.
Be in the room.
And my husband was looking at me like, okay, did you plan out? I said, I don't know. The money was a little funny. I'll be honest. I was like, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. And I got there and I volunteered. I was humble enough to volunteer in a space that wasn't my desire to do. I was helping with registration. And I came and transformed everything that was going on in the back end because of my event planning experience, because that was something that I did. My gift made room for me. And then they were like, who is this woman? Where did she come from? And I created such value, it opened up the door for the introduction. And then fast forward to the next opportunity to be with Dr. Frazier in a smaller environment where he came up for a power series in New York. And Henry Nelson and Frank Waters were sponsoring that. And I had connected with them at another event. And I said, oh, well, let me partner with you all. Let me add value. Sometimes you want things without adding value. So I
Right.
said, I know I can host. I know what I can do. You know, give me a microphone, baby. It's going down. So I said, let me come in and see how I can add value. And in doing that, I was the individual who introduced Dr. Frazier at the event when he came into New York. And he turned and he was like, well, where did you find her? And I was like, hot diggity dog, we down now. It's going down. Right? Similar to how I connected with Les Brown years ago. But with Dr. Frazier, he called me after that event and we continued to talk. He said, I see myself in you. I think I cried that whole night when somebody that you admire, somebody that you have secretly held as your mentor, sees you, sees your gift, sees your talent. It changes the game. And he never, ever, ever relinquished his microphone of hosting his events. I am the
Yeah.
first
Right.
that he is allowed to do this and has celebrated and has pushed and promoted. That is a blessing. And he said, it's because you operate in excellence. He was like, I give it to you. You do this better than me. When it comes to, and he'll laugh about it because there's nobody that can touch Dr. Frazier when he is speaking. But in the capacity of hosting his event and tying it all together, being the glue for the conference, the experience, this is for somebody who needs to hear when information is being shared, it's just information unless you apply it. And everything that I've watched Dr. Frazier do with being the king of networking and building relationships and following up, that is what gets you from where you are to where you're going. That's how connecting with Brian and saying, I love what you're doing with BSN. Here's a thought that I have. Here's something that maybe we can partner on, and adding that value might open up his mind to something else that you might not have been thinking of that he can bless you with as a result of your yes. How the collaboration between BSN and Speakers Network, that was organic because of being in the same place and saying, hold on, we're doing a lot of work, helping a lot of people. How can we maximize our reach? And that's the kind of conversations we have at Faithpreneur Weekend, learning how to leverage relationships, resources, and revenue to create a sustainable and profitable legacy by being cash flow positive. And let me be clear, cash flow positive doesn't mean that you're going to be a billionaire, millionaire, or even thousandaire. What it means is you're going to have your house in order. What it means is you're going to face the things you need to fix. What it means is that you're going to go from frustration to implementation. You're going to go from free to fee. Did you get my invoice? All right. Let me drop my own bomb.
Listen, she said so much. Let's just pause for a second and unpack some of the things, because she mentioned the word humility. She mentioned mentorship. She mentioned value. And I remember being on a call Clubhouse, and one of the things, and Pam, you say this too, about mentorship. Most often people get mentorship confused. They think that mentor is supposed to give to you. But as Dr. Stacie mentioned, if your job is to at least be in the room and make those connections with people, and you are to bring value to that individual. And oftentimes we get that confused. Either Pam or Dr. Stacie, you want to talk on that a little bit, because I think that is so important that it needs repeating. It needs to be said so that people can get that. That's under the relationship part, and building that relationship. Our goal, if we are the ones who want to be mentored, our goal is to find out or figure out how can we add value to what this person is already doing, so that you can be seen, so that we can help them move forward, and they likewise in return will help us move forward, because that's what it's all about. And until Pam said it, Dr. Frazier said it, it didn't click that way, but that's kind of how I tend to operate too. I remember meeting Pam. I can write for you, I can do that for you, and do it well. And then when you talk about humility, when I speak with these fabulous people Pam brings before me, I like to capture the behind the scenes. I like to capture the journey, because there's so many of us on this journey, and all we see is the end result. And I'm like, nah, it takes work to get there. Let's talk about that. And Dr. Stacie talked about the retreat. Remember the retreat? You said, she had all this going on. She was like, I got to figure something out. And she took her team and they went on a retreat to figure out how to present and position all that she had, the skill set, and all that where she had been. And that's what it takes. It takes a team, but it also takes effort. So that's why when she says, you have these blessings, but sometimes when they come, you may not recognize them. So she had to pause and figure out, okay, let me get the house in order. You want to talk about that just a little bit more? Because I can't capture it all in words, but it was really a good conversation. And if you can share that a little bit, I know, we're on a schedule here, but just share that part too, about the retreat and your goal and how that came about and why.
Oh, absolutely. Because I know what it feels like to be in this wilderness of discovery. You're feeling like there's more, but it's not connecting. It's just pieces are fragmented. And one of the things that I did not do was listen to some of my mentors about identifying who my target audience was. Who am I here to serve? Because quite frankly, Sarah, I felt with you were in 1 foot of me, you were my audience. Everybody was my audience. I'm here to serve everybody. And that doesn't quite work out well, right? If you're too general, nobody will know who you are, what you have to offer and give. So I had a team retreat in New Jersey, and we were just talking through what's next. We had birthed Destiny Designers University in November of 2014, and God gave it to me nice and simple. I did what I'm known to do, complicated. And I'm like, okay, let me figure this. Like, Lord, what is it? So I was in prayer. I had a couple of prayer warriors praying, and I said, let's analyze who I am and what I bring to the table. What do people always say? And I say that to anybody listening in. Why do people come back to you? What do they compliment you on? What's the thing that resonates when they think of you, your offering, your gift, your product, your skill? And for me, it was always faith. Everyone always said something about how my life, my testimony witnesses to them, that there's something about the testimony and the faith that keeps them going. And that was from a prayer call that started at FraserNet. And that was just an effort to be able to connect with people and say, look, y'all looking a little confused out here in these streets. It's a lot of Black excellence. Y'all know what's going on. Let's get together and pray for an intentional encounter with those you are here to serve and those who can serve you. And that call grew and grew and grew. We're actually 12 plus years now on that call, but that was the evidence, the proof of concept that faith was the thing that people came back to me with. And entrepreneurship, I've been a serial entrepreneur. I've been, I'm Jamaican. We got a lot of jobs, right? There's a lot of things that we do. So faith and entrepreneur, I was like, faithpreneur. That's it. That's who I speak to. I speak to faithpreneurs. I speak to faith-based entrepreneurs. And because I protected my intellectual property, I own the trademark for faithpreneur. And I thank God for my tribe because they protect it faster than me. I get an inbox, an email, a text message as soon as someone sees an infringement. My attorney has been very happy protecting my intellectual property. But as soon as I identified who a faithpreneur is, I could describe that, they could hear my voice, because then I could speak freely with the skills and gifts and talents that I had to pour into faithpreneurs by identifying who they were. So that was a game changer. And it allowed me to really understand how to serve my faithpreneurs. So I know that was a piece of answering the question, because we truncating a lot all in one spot.
No, that's beautiful.
I think that's awesome. I just have two quick questions. The second one might not be quick. The first quick one is, how are you making the sound effects? Because I really want to start that tonight. So you can give us a behind the scenes. What's going on? You got a drum machine back there? What's happening?
Y'all gonna have to have a private session. Give him a little behind the scenes on that.
We private now.
Well, we kind of said that in a way that our son is like that genius, right, of sounds and music and all that kind of stuff. So it's probably something that he put together, I'm sure.
Well, actually, he helped my husband, because, my husband is Andrew Grant Photography, Granted Group Productions. I have all my production within my household. My husband does photography. My one son does sound engineering and DJing. And my third son does the videography. So I have the whole kit and caboodle. And look at God. That's not how it started. But look how he curated everybody's gifts and all the things that I did before to serve my faithpreneur community. So we literally invested in additional equipment. That's why we can be fancy. If you saw how he has this whole speakers magazine configured behind me.
Yeah, I see it kind of moving. It's moving.
It's a whole situation. Got a little fan action. We started a TV network in the midst of COVID, utilizing the same platform, investing in equipment. So, Brian, I'll send you a link to, if you want to get this, so that you can do these sound effects and such, and then you upload it into your system. That's how you grow. You stretch. Some people were sitting in COVID like, oh, woe is me, the world is over. No, other folks are like, hold on, there's opportunity. Where there's crisis, there is opportunity. Hold on, there's some opportunities. People that launch things, they started new businesses, and they didn't listen to what was happening around them. And that was what I shared with all of the faithpreneurs. It was a difficult time. I said, acknowledge what you see. We've never in our lived lifetime experienced anything like this in history. We've lost so many loved ones. We've had racial unrest reach an all-time fever pitch. We've had financial insecurity. We've had all these things happening. We'd be tone deaf if we did not acknowledge it. But I said, trust what you know. And for faithpreneurs, trouble don't last always. What you know is you can do hard. What you know is my God cannot fail. It's not even an option. What you know is you get stronger through the trials and you come out victorious. What you know, gold don't start out as gold, honey. It goes through the furnace. And we went through a furnace of 2020. Some
Through the
people thought
fire.
that 2021 was 2020 with a wig on, but I don't care how you slice it, baby. We are still here. And if you look to the hills from whence cometh your help, that's where your help come from. You can be troubled on every side, yet not perplexed. So I was consistent. Acknowledge what you see, trust what you know. We hosted a virtual event that was blowing the socks off of
Yeah.
year 1 and year 2 last year. So I'm excited to see what God does this year, because I do not put fear in front of faith.
There you go.
There
You
you
feel
go.
the fear and you do it anyway, because you know your God has got you. Period. There is
And
no discussion.
that actually ties into my second question, which is more around like, so reflecting back on 4 years. By the way, we got Dr. Eric Holmes here. He's like, past the offering plate. This is right. This is him right here. Yeah, so we started Sunday early on there, but I think, do you have any advice for new speakers? Because we talk about all the time, like creating your own platform. And, obviously there's sometimes a mix of, being able to go after opportunities, but there's nothing like having the ability to create your own stage. And so for somebody who's created this like global brand, it's 4 years old, it's a legacy. People look forward to it I'm sure you barely even have to sell tickets at this point. You just put up the link, people are like, boom, 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 boom. But you're continuing to evolve it. So do you have any advice for new speakers who are kind of looking to establish that? Because it could be like very intimidating. I mean, you've secured sponsorships with Delta. I mean, you've gotten, speakers, you are great at curriculum design. There's so many elements that goes into it. So any perspective on somebody that might be just beginning to start the process?
Oh, I love that question. Absolutely. Start. That's my advice. Start, right? Because my second life lesson in the signature training that I do with action despite the distraction, it's not about being perfect. It's about getting started so you have something to perfect. Some of us are so brilliant. You're so awesome. And you're pontificating and you're waiting to get it just right. And somebody else is executing. It's not about being perfect. It's about getting started so you have something to perfect. It doesn't mean that you do some slim shot halfway situation. You operate from a place of excellence and you continue to refine. I use the example in the book and I'll share it here that we all use a device that's named after a fruit. I don't say the name because they're not a sponsor. When they're a sponsor, they get that shout out, but they release something every couple of weeks or months, it feels like, and they release it imperfect. There's always a fix. There's always an update. And if a global multi-million-dollar brand can launch, what are you waiting on? So if you have a voice, if you have a story, if you have a message, there is no excuse. There are so many mediums that you can use to share. Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, Green Room, Twitter, TikTok. There's all these places that you can test your material, find your audience, identify your message. Who are you speaking to? Who needs to hear you? Everybody's not going to hear me. Everyone's not going to hear Brian. Everyone's not going to hear Pam. But who we're here to serve, they will hear you. But if you don't open up your mouth and speak, it will never happen. So my advice to you is to commit today, if you haven't already committed, to go live. Work out a plan, enroll in the offerings that all of us have that can refine and fine tune your message. So you're not just out there just talking anything and everything, but you have a clear, succinct message that you want to bring out to your audience, and you share. Test market. Here's a question. Put that question out there. A question for me is, how many people identify with faith in running their business? You put that out there, see who comes to the table, let them find you, and then you continue to pour into them. And as you pour into them, document, go ahead, repurpose, package, and sell so you can do like Brian and send out an invoice. But if you don't start, you cannot perfect it. So start. I meet so many people. Oh my gosh, I want to speak. Oh my Lord. I want to meet Dr. Frazier. I want to meet Les Brown. Okay, so what are you doing? Like, what can we look at? How can we serve you? How can I assist you? I only do my platform ready speaker training for small private groups, and folks want to be a part of it. I'm like, well, I need to see something. I need to see what I'm working with. But if you don't start, if you never utilize what's here, you'll never know what's on the other side. Someone is waiting on you, and you literally could save someone's life. And that's not a joke. That's not overrated. That is the truth. People are suffering right now. So many people don't have a foundation of faith. They're losing hope. They're literally losing their mind. And your voice could stop them from making a terrible decision on where they could be next. So this is not a game. You don't have the unmitigated goal to hold your gifts hostage. You better release it and start speaking now.
Hey, and let
That's it.
the church say,
Amen. Amen. Amen.
I like what she said. She said, just get started and do the updates.
That's that part. Because we want to be so perfect. So, oh wow.
I
Look at
love it.
that.
Yes, yes.
it's coming back. Sorry. That's like a little thing.
It's
But
such
yeah, look
cool-
at you
such
on
a
the cover.
Cool colors. I mean, just
Great cover.
cool. And New York
Hey.
in the background, of course.
I'm honored. I'm honored to be on the cover, and honored as I was reading these articles. What incredible speakers that are in the platform, right? That you're giving voice to, Pam. Like, this is incredible. Where they would not have had the opportunity to share their story, to meet writers like Sear, right? Because you have made this possible. So my journey, it's been a journey. I've definitely had a journey. This has not been overnight. Somebody saw me the other day, Brian, and like, oh my gosh, you're like blowing up. You're everywhere. Let me put on my own sound effect. Like, I've been here for a minute, but it seems like blowing up when people see
Right.
you more and your visibility shifts, so there's a change. But stay faithful. And when you're faithful over a few, God will bless you with more. So everything that I've gone through has been for a purpose. Nothing is wasted. Even the moments where I
Nothing.
cried, even the moments where I was like, check this out, Jesus, let's have a sidebar conversation because I might be able to recommend somebody else to you who could do this work, right? Let's
You're
meet
not
me on
trying
the
to
bench,
call an
Jesus.
audible, right? I'm calling an audible. Let's switch up. Let's change up. Listen, it's a journey. Never forget that. It's ongoing
It is.
too.
I love this. This is really like one of the best covers. It's so cool. And it's just
Beautiful
you,
picture,
know.
just everything. Flawless.
Thank you. I wasn't sure how this look would come out, and Andrew Grant Photography was very nervous. He was like, "This is Speakers Magazine. Like, what do you mean?" I was like, "Hello, you've carved out this space where everyone's coming to you as the go-to photographer. Own it." Not just because you're my husband, but because you have a gift. He's been doing this for years. He has documented a digital history for our entire family with pictures and capturing moments that make everybody cry when they look at it. And he was hesitant on launching because he'll tell people in a minute, I have entrepreneurial tendencies, but that one I married, she the entrepreneur.
Well, send them our way because we're starting a like it's so challenging for people to find really great photographers and videographers. So we're starting like a separate directory around the country for that. So send them on over so we can get them added in.
And one of the things about the magazine is that I had a lot of the magazines over the last 4 years, and so I gave them to the Black Door Society sisters, and so they were like, "Oh my God, these are great people that we can have for speakers or do trainings or just get involved." And so definitely, it's one of those things. It's like when people get it, like you were saying, Dr. Stacie, it's like a catalog of people they may never heard of, and so now we're putting them in the limelight, so to speak. Yeah, that's the reason for. That's the reason for speakers.
Absolutely.
It makes perfect sense to me. And so we got Faithpreneur Weekend, it looks like right here, prominently featured right in the front. And so I see a lot, I recognize a lot of these names, Nicole Roberts Jones. And it looks like you've assembled just another like all-star faculty for this. But these are actually honorees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, these are the honorees. Amy Walker, Deja Vu, radio personality, dear sister, Dr. Cheryl Wood.
Monica,
Our Cheryl, Dr. Monica Agundo, Dr. Teresa Martin, Kelly
Dr.
Wright,
Tina.
Larry Beecham, Lucinda Cross, my little sister activator, Nicole Roberts Jones, Dr. Tiana Von Johnson, and for our international corporate Faithpreneur Pearl Award, Reverend Carla Hunter Ramsey. So be clear, I don't honor people just because of who they are. I honor them because of our relationship. So everyone I've honored since year one, yes, they have multi million-dollar brands. Some have, notoriety internationally, which is awesome. And yes, we celebrate that they did and built that with a fidelity to God, but I honor them because they pray with me. They work with me. I know who these people are. It's not casual connections and just highlighting because of name and notoriety. So that's very important to me. You can't just get on the platform because you have a name, right? It was because we have built a relationship. And that legacy gala is very personal and important to me because that's where we kick off with the legacy of faith that I stand on with my grandmother. So we do a part honoring someone in my family and just talking about what she left as the lessons. And then I get to highlight these incredible individuals who have contributed to the economy without compromising their faith. So that's an important part.
So all these folks are handpicked by you to
Yes,
receive
sir.
the award. That's awesome. That's
Handpicked.
really
And then we get into the training and development, which is day 2. That's all day. We dive deep into the areas, and this year we're unveiling our 3D system. People keep asking, well, how do you do it? How did you get here? How did you build? We're going to give you the how, and we're going to unveil that at Faithpreneur Weekend. It is a journey. There's a process, and that 3D system is discovery, discipline, and development leads you to deliverance. And then that's what we're going to go through. We're grateful for our partners, our sponsors. Our gold sponsor this year, CMHC Consulting, Carmen Herrera came in as a gold sponsor. We're so excited. Our event is powered by Virtual 10X, another past honoree, Lethea Owens. And Howard White and Greg Russell, who hold me down, Miss Jessie's. We've been partnering with Delta Airlines, Marshalling Resources, which is Sid Marshall, the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks, my big sister prayer partner. It's Weibo Workshop and Business Opportunities. And this is not even everybody. So you got to go to the website to see all of the sponsors that we're continuing to add on and the partners that we have in the history. Right. You asked a great question, Brian. It's been 4 years. There's a lot. And if you go to faithpreneurweekend.com, you literally can see the documented history, the transformation, the proof of concept that faith works.
This is awesome. Love it. Well, August 12th through the 14th, is tickets still available? Or
tickets are available, and I'm going to announce today, I didn't say it to Pam, but we're going to make available with the code SPEAKERS. We're going to do a 48-hour opportunity. So if 48 hours, it's up because we're down to the last wire, and we really have to make accommodations because we're doing a small cohort of those who'll be live. If you use the code SPEAKERS, all caps, you will get 50% off for the next 48 hours. So you better go on and grab it if you use the code SPEAKERS. And that's because of the relationship, the partnership. And we know that sometimes, money might be a challenge, and we don't want money to get in the way of the blessing of you being in this conference and getting the resources, the information, and the transformation for what's next. What I know to be true is that I bring the experts in the space, my faculty, like Brian, who came and participated last year. Pam is always on. I bring the experts because I'm not going to do everything. I'm going to do what I am here to teach and train you and expose you to the other faculty who have the expertise to drill down deep in those areas that get you cash flow positive.
Cool. Wow. Hey.
And relationships. And people say, oh, I want to meet such and such. Well, just show up, boo. Those who show up, go up.
Go ahead, Pam. Those who show up.
Yeah. I like a good discount. So, you all better take advantage while you can. That's always special. I always know that Faithpreneur is coming up. August 14th is my birthday. So I always I think last year was actually on, I spoke on my birthday. So
you spoke on your birthday.
And I'll never forget that. Well, cool. Well, okay. So we got that. I put the discount code there for anyone that's interested. That's a 48-hour deal, and we appreciate that. I'm sure Pam does as well. And let's jump into the rest of this issue. So here on the next page, of course, we got the table of contents. And Pam, this issue, I think, like you said, from the cover, I'm like, why it's not working? From the cover, all the way through, this is if you're going to have a midway point for 2021, I think this issue really encapsulates so much.
It really did. It flowed. It always flows. So this one was really the 4 issues. And Sharissa Allen, she's over there, but we kind of show some of the 4 years of some of the covers that we had. The first one being George Fraser. We had Dr. Missy. We had Erin Simone. We had Les Brown, John Leslie Brown, that's his son, Ann Les, Dr. Venus, Dee Marshall. These are just some of the, it's been 4 years, so there's a lot of covers, but I just put some of the ones up there. Cheryl Wood is one of the covers as well, Felicia Davis. So yeah, it's just been a blessing.
And congratulations again on 4 years. Like that.
Yes, congratulations.
I was telling my branding accelerators, I said, I have been through this journey for a long time. I started a magazine a long time ago. We had 4 issues and then we failed. I started another magazine. It was like 6 months. And we failed. I mean, so 4 years, this is a big deal because this is the third time. This is the third time I've tried a magazine. The first one was Soul Source. Another one was Gospel Times or something like that. So this has been really because it's the lane. It's the lane of the focus of promoting Black speakers. It's promoting Black
and
speakers.
it goes back to, starting, doing, being on that journey, putting it out there. If it doesn't work, you come back and tweak it. So we knew it was a magazine to come, right? We knew that. Which one? And now you're 4 years in, and this is the one that captures everything what you're all about, promoting, publicizing, helping other Black speakers. So this is the one, and congratulations to you and Mark on this.
Thank you.
Yes, congrats. But we don't want it to be lost because people keep skipping that. They want overnight success. They see somebody's name in lights. They see me on a cover and they're like, oh my goodness, that's going to happen tomorrow. No. Well, what's that? What's to come on? No. It takes time, right?
Not in my house, right?
It takes time.
There's so many people that aren't going to get that reference, but yeah.
I'm here at ATL, right? Not in my house, so I know Atlanta Hawks. But yeah, and it's important to enjoy the journey. I think I shared some of that with you, Dr. Stacie. The journey is beautiful. You made, I know what is to come. There's no fear there. It's not here now, but it's coming. Enjoy every step of it because as Pam said, nothing will be wasted. So you enjoy it, you learn from it, you grow from it, you know what to tweak. So make sure you enjoy that journey, and it is a journey. And if you're really living out your purpose by faith, you're going to enjoy it. It is your task to enjoy it.
And Sharissa said she was out somewhere and someone says, I think I know you. I've seen you before. And they were saying, where have you seen? I think I've seen you. So we promote them not only in the magazine, but on social media as well. So these same pages are promoted on Instagram and Facebook.
Absolutely.
And that's the key point that I want to make sure, because we might have people in the BSN, but we always have new people like all the time. So if you're not familiar with Speakers Magazine, and we have the link here, I dropped it in the Facebook chat as well, speakersmagazine.net. You can go and read any of the issues, like the past 4 years, but you can also be featured. And I think part of the great thing I love about what you just intentionally done, because we know the state of print publication, news media, really anything that's printed is a challenge. But Pam, you and Mark are so strategic about making sure that there's such a strong digital footprint that goes along. I mean, you all send out press releases. Everything is SEO optimized, and so when you're featured in a magazine, when you Google your name, like that information comes up, and so now you're getting exposure on Google.
That's the point. Be Googleable.
Be Googleable.
Googleable.
I like to say be Googlealicious.
Yes, be Googlealicious. This is 2 people here. Dr. Angela Reddix, if you're not familiar with her, she is just doing a fabulous job. She has a show called She Got It From Her Mama. Her and her daughter have a TV show in Virginia. And then Darlene White, she's just kind of starting out. She's a reporter with the Detroit Free Press and News, and she's also in the Brand Accelerator. So they were really excited about being in the magazine because they have a business, and then it's like to be shown and positioned as a speaker is a little different. Mm-hmm. So now they're in this magazine, and so when people are looking, it's like, oh, I guess you are a speaker. They're positioned that way. She runs a multi-million-dollar business doing something else, but she wants to now share as a speaker. It's the same thing with Darlene. She's a reporter, but wants to share as a speaker. So that's one of the things that just really, it helps people who are just really getting started in speaking, even though they have experience from other things, to just get out there and really show people who they are.
Established speakers, yeah.
I see Dr. Angela did a TEDx. She's been a TEDx
Yes.
speaker.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
TEDx is like opening back up now because they were doing like a lot of virtual and now.
Yeah.
Back to doing in person.
I love these pictures. You know,
Yeah, come on, sound effect.
tell us about this blue here.
Oh, the blue, the blue. The sky is blue and white. I just, this outfit actually, it was a gift from one of my sorors,
Which
Dr.
one?
Kimberly Brackett, Zeta Phi Beta
Okay.
Sorority
Well,
Incorporated.
say it. Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I
And
love it.
the dress is just an amazing dress. And when she sent it to me, I was like, oh my goodness, a boutique down in Dallas, Texas. And she knows my style and she knew I would love it. And I just love the fact that
It looks
we
rich.
get to dress up. Like, hello, nobody said because you serve God, you can't look good. And I'm Jamaican. So let me qualify that going to church with my grandmother in the heat with stockings on was not cool, right? And in some churches, you can't wear makeup. You know, you look like Jezebel if you put red lipstick on. Like, we releasing everybody from all of that. If I'm a child of the king, I have to get used to the jewels and the bling and everything here before
The
I go to
crown
heaven.
and
So be very
everything,
clear.
right? Yes.
Yes,
I like the urgency of now when facing your next. I like that. And
absolutely.
Sierra did a really good job of capturing everything in like a nutshell to make you want to just say, bam, let me hit that website and see what else is there, you know. So and that blue silk satiny thing is really rich. So that was different for you. First time we
It
ever done
was.
anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. And, you know, the urgency of now when facing your next, we saw what the last 15, 16 months has shown us. Tomorrow is not promised. You have to move with the urgency of now in cadence with your assignment. I don't know what next week will bring. I don't know what December will bring. But if I were to leave today, everybody knows what my work will speak for me. What's speaking for you? The urgency of now when facing your next.
I love that.
I love it. You got to show up, faithpreneurweekend.com. I'm telling you. And then this young lady here, Dr. Joy, not Dr. Joy, but Joy Calloway, she wrote this article because we told her the theme. And so she wrote on the Faithpreneur journey. She really was excited about that as well.
Yeah,
So,
I enjoyed her.
Yes. So she's really good. Crave Awards is another event coming up in September. So they're in here. Mark and myself are winning the Legacy Award or Trailblazer Award, something. Some kind of you've been around a long time award kind of award.
Well, congratulations to you and Mark. Shout out to my bro, Mark. He is just the best. He and Andrew get along so well because they're just the same, supporting their very vocal wives.
Yes. Very introverted. Get the energy from, you know, I'm good by myself, but, you know, if you want to go out there, okay.
It's an in-person event?
Yes, it is. It's in September.
Yep. Okay. That's what's up. I love that. Whoever did that graphics.
Graphic is fire.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It does look like a hologram, doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah, that's I need to talk to them.
Well, I'll give you her number. And this is Silver Fox Ray. She wanted to write an article about the 3 principles of public speaking. And she is a model as well as a podcaster, a voiceover, a speaker, and really just telling people in so many ways that, you know, you may be a baby boomer or maybe over 50 and over 60, you still are out here doing the darn thing. And she is all the time, has auditions all the time. Yes.
I love that Silver Fox. That photo.
Right? I'm telling you.
Yes.
That is cute. And then BSN member, Deborah Allen. Lady Deborah Allen, she's in here as well. So she has been promoting her issue as well. I saw her doing that online. We promoted her just recently on her Instagram. So she's doing really, really good. There's someone there.
Oh, I know that Dapper man.
I love that picture. Like, okay, 5 things you must do before you quit your day job, boo.
Yes.
Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, listen, for real.
You tell them
I
not
love
to
the
move too
photo.
quick, Brian, right?
What'd you say?
You tell them not to move too quick. This you need to make sure your house is in order, right? This is what you must do.
Yeah, it's a combination of that, but it also is a balance of what Dr. Grant was saying earlier, which is, the whole, making progress over perfection thing. Like I had this whole plan of what it was going to look like. I was going to have my car paid off. I was going to have 6 months expenses in the bank. I was going to like transfer my, health insurance, and none of that happened, before I left. But, you ultimately gotta, rely on a combination of things. And I think especially number two, like the going to therapy part, because I specifically wanted to make sure that I went to therapy as a mechanism even before that, but also like most people can only handle like a couple major transitions in like a 12-month period. Like leaving your job is a major transition. Getting married or leaving a relationship is a major transition. Moving to a new place is a major transition. And so I experienced like, a couple of those all at the same time, not married, but the other ones. So like, I think that that's something that, people really don't think about. So yeah, Pam is always like, give me like 200 words and then I write like a whole like short story and then you gotta like chunk it down. So I appreciate being in this issue.
Yes, it's about 350 words. So it is a challenge to write the brevity, but you brought it. You really did. And then the Ready, Set, Go Speak membership are for people that are just really getting starting out and want to know how to build their brand to become a speaker. And it really focuses on a lot on marketing and PR. So
We had a
that's
lot of good feedback about the Ready, Set, Go program. I know you've like, kind of, I think it's very smart the way you, are making it more like exclusive, but then you're able to serve. Because I know how you show up, like you really want to pour into the people that you're working with. So like, I really, really like that. And I get great feedback all the time from all the programs.
I push them in the pool. I really do. I teach them how to swim and then I push you in the pool.
We had the back cover. Okay.
Yes, this is Power Up. This is Kern Cherry's event. Hers is coming up July 14th, which is next week.
Yes.
Right. So yes, she's been doing it, and she's been doing clubhouses too. You were on a clubhouse.
I was on a clubhouse twice as we did a takeover on Wednesday, and then last night we had Christians in the marketplace. It was straight fire. So definitely shout out to Kern. We got to give Kern She's doing it. So many incredible people. That's the beauty of all of these relationships, is that you meet people that you didn't expect to meet. You're in places where you didn't expect to be. Exposure, opportunity, all of that comes together by taking the time to be, as Dr. Frazier would say, where important people are. And he loves to say that he wants written for him when that time comes that he mattered. Right? Knowing that you added some value, there was something that you brought to the planet that made a difference, that people will actually miss your physical existence, but never forget your spiritual impact. Oh, that was good. Somebody
that was
feedback for me. Hey, Lord, thank you.
Yeah.
We get the replay available immediately afterwards in the BFNQ Black Speaker Network. First of all, do you got Chrisette Michelle?
Yes. That's Chrisette Michelle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the singer. She's got her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, okay.
And Kim Coles.
I know. I mean, everybody. I mean, I'm just like, yo, I didn't know she was a speaker. That's great. Cool. All right. Well, that is the July issue. And I just want to feature it one more time because we got Dr. Grant in the house, and here's the website that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Yeah. See what's going on. This is like baller. Like this is, you could just look and tell that this is like a high quality
event. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well thought out and everything.
And executed. Yes.
So good stuff. Well, we are done. This is awesome. I'm super excited. Dr. Grant, always a pleasure to have an opportunity to talk to you, learn from you, and just kind of be in your like virtual presence. I think we met in person. I don't think we met yet.
We saw each other. Did we? Were we?
Empower Networking.
I think I saw you, but you know, I work
Yeah,
like Kizzy at
you
Power
would.
Networking.
Yeah, I don't mess with people. Like if somebody's holding a clipboard, like I'm not
Yeah.
saying that. To you. You know what I'm saying?
Is that the sign? If you have a clipboard, I'm not. I'll pass. I'll let you
Yeah.
keep.
She was working. She was
Or
working.
like one of them
We had the
iPads.
table. Mhm.
Well, I'm looking
Well, I
forward to
can't
all
wait,
of us
Brian.
coming together in
Yes.
live one day. You know,
Yes,
Yes.
hands
Yes.
on each and every one of y'all.
it'll be a
I
part
don't
of
know where.
Absolutely.
It'll
It
be a
could
part
be
of
New York. I don't know where.
You look, but Sia, you know you my spirit animal. So we definitely
It's
gonna connect.
coming.
Brian, you know I already adopted you as a little brother. You know, I collect black brilliance and I had to scoop Brian up when I met him. I was like, nah, I see you, bro. You were doing the do, you are adding value. BSN is off the chain. And I just
Yes,
had to
it
celebrate
is.
him. And I said
And
that
he's a
publicly.
faithpreneur.
He
He's a
is a faithpreneur.
faithpreneur.
That's why
I
he
mean,
was
when he
on the platform.
yes,
Right.
when he walked off his job or left his job, it was a faith walk. It
It was
really
a
was.
journey. Yep.
So proud of him. So
Yeah.
proud of him.
Yeah. So I love that. And Pam, you already know nothing can separate us.
Nothing.
You stuck with me for
Nothing.
life. And I love you for just who you are. You are a treasure to all of us and an example for
Yes.
so many to follow. So I
Thank
just
you.
celebrate you and all of you. I could do this all day, but we all have stuff to do. I love
I gotta
y'all.
get on the plane.
Yes, and you gotta get on the plane. So we thank everyone for tuning in. I just went on. I think I saw my Diane. My Diane, she was with me when we launched Destiny Designs Universities. I want to
Yeah.
shout out my Diane
Yeah,
Antley.
I saw Diane
She's out
Antley.
there doing her due. I
There
love
she
you
is.
and
That
so proud. Yeah, I'm
congratulations.
so proud of her. She's been doing some speaker work and developing her market for divorced women. So that's what it's about. I love when you
Okay.
give people wings to fly and they start flying.
She says,
Right?
"Yes, ma'am. I'm here." There she is. Yes.
Oh, yes, yes. Love it,
Diane,
love it.
I might have to connect with her because a lot of my friends over a period of time have been getting divorced for many,
Mm.
so that I didn't know that was a niche. So
It is
Diane,
a niche, and she's been
Absolutely.
developing. She was working. I think she did some stuff with Cheryl and was a part of a couple of things with Dr. Cheryl Wood. So, Diane, you heard that blessing, boo. You know I keeps the
so
blessings
you
coming.
need
You better
yes,
connect with Pam Perry. That could be a feature. I'm
yes,
just saying.
I know she needs to write a little bit about that. Okay, so here we go. All
All
right,
right,
I'll
well,
be back.
this has been amazing. Thank you so much again, everybody, for carving out time. And for the Black Speakers Network, again, definitely make sure you go check out Speakers Magazine, speakersmagazine.net. We have about 10 days before you can get into the August issue, I believe. So if you're
Yes.
interested in that, make sure you go to speakersmagazine.net/advertorial and get your spot locked in. And all the information is there. And as we always say, keep speaking up because your audience awaits. We will see y'all on stage. Have a great
Bye,
weekend.
guys.
Bye, Grace. Bye, Eric. Bye, everyone. Mwah, mwah.